Good morning and welcome to this week's set of devotionals. We're continuing on in spiritual disciplines, and we left off in the outward disciplines, and so we will continue there with the discipline of submission. This is an incredibly deep and weighty topic, and so please, if there are things that stand out or you have continued questions on, I suggest you continually question those. In an age where social justice is at the forefront of people's minds, the idea of giving in seems cowardly. And so today I will focus mostly on Jesus. I struggled with submission when I became a Christian, especially to authorities, especially to male authorities. I got kicked out of a basketball game at a Muskoka Woods retreat, and I can't imagine that was not embarrassing for my leadership. And it wasn't until I realized that being insubordinate to the world, authorities, loved ones, teachers, police, pastors, that it was impossible for me to be insubordinate to all of them and yet be submissive to Jesus. For Jesus was telling me very specifically to practice submission. And so we look at Jesus' life. Humbled himself, being obedient unto death, even death on a cross. Jesus pleading with his Father before the crucifixion to take it away from him, and yet accepting his Father's will that was going to do great harm to him. Jesus' submission when collecting tax, when being accused, when being beaten, when being put to death. Could we have a better model of the discipline of submission? And it is here that we begin to struggle. How many church splits, broken families, lost lives come at a price of our own autonomy, because we need to take a stand, because we need to get what is ours, because we know the right way. What is caused when we do not practice submission? So much dissatisfaction, trying to control a world we cannot control, using authority we do not have, refuting authority that does exist, trying to separate our lives from the call of Jesus. But what happens when we do practice the discipline of submission? Jesus' life shows us that does not mean we will not be persecuted. It doesn't mean we will not be punished. It does not mean that we will get everything we want. But what do we get? Well, the weight of the world no longer falls on our shoulders. Suddenly, giving in does not mean giving up. Suddenly, victory happens, even when we've bowed our head. As I was taught as a kid, the upside-down kingdom of Jesus, that the slain are the victors, that those who will not raise up a sword are the ones who will win. And so, as a church, as an individual, how do we practice submission? How do we allow other people to make decisions we don't agree with? And the answer is, we have to die to ourselves, and we have to allow God alone fully rely on God. Lord, I pray that you would teach us more how to actually emulate you. Jesus, how do we actually be like you? Even if that means death and ridicule, even if that means we are mocked, even if that means that we don't get our way. Jesus, teach us how to love God the way you loved God, to seek God's will the way you sought God's will, to be okay with, to be for whatever his will is in our lives and in this world. Lord, may we forevermore bow the knee to you, Christ our King, Abba Father. Amen.